This entire episode is focused on Yennefer, and having the opening of a town as a peaceful homestead sets up for the twist ahead. A spoiled antagonist who is disgusted by a gift. The guy is persistent. I gotta give him a win for that. I didn't like the girl flip-flopping on the gift so quickly, but once it sunk in, it shows how much of a spoiled twat she is, which comes into play very quickly for her to be a villain. I literally jumped out of my seat when I first saw Yennefer. I was shocked to see her. It scared the bejeebers out of me. Having had watched this a few times, this shot does sum up her character. She is a gentle giant. She has a heart of gold, despite people's judgments of her deformity. I think this scene was unearned. It happened way too quickly. They could have had an entire episode dedicated to the degrading life she lives in the town, especially by her father. Then at the end of the episode, have her teleport and reveal she has magic. I love the fact he was genuinely surprised. It looked authentic. Any comment about her leads her to outlash. That's a good character trait for her.
Your backhand is even more impressive than your magic.
My what?
Puzzled that she has any power. I never understood why or how Yennefer teleported to this place as opposed to any other place. Did Tissaia will it? Is the magical temple of conduits a magnet for other conduits of chaos when they teleport? I think if she teleported in the middle of the woods, was found by her quote-unquote father, and then brought back home, it would still allow for the storyline, and her being sold by her father. As horrible as being sold for 4 marks is by your father, he's absolutely justified in his feelings. His wife had an affair with an elf. Why does this man have to keep a crippled, ugly daughter who may never marry, who is the product of an affair, taking care of an illegitimate daughter that isn't his? It's not good, it's just understandable. This is my favorite scene in the entire episode, if not the season. The saddened music playing in the background gets to you. Once she repeats to herself, 4 marks. It digs knives into your soul. Smashing a mirror of seeing the reflection of yourself you don't like staring back. I give this 2 wins because her character has already outlashed towards Istredd, which isn't outside of her character to do. Showing her committing suicide as we pan to the opening screen. A beautiful tragedy. A mute strange boy in the woods helping you not die. A played out shot of Ciri thinking aloud to a mute, much like how Geralt was thinking to his horse in episode 1. Exposition given to the audience without a response from whom they are talking to in the scene. I love that. Reciprocating kindness without any words. Such a beautiful inn. Subverting expectations with a bard singing a catchy tune while being booed by his audience. Waste not, want not. Introducing Jaskier and Geralt together here was superb. Yennefer waking up to a degrading headmistress with woven cloth covering her wrists, hiding her cuts from before. Yennefer standing in the doorway shows her beauty. A very cute young lady. An exclusive classroom filled with only women, surrounded by vines and flowers, with a very elegant teacher. A great scene for the feminine. Magic has a cost. I love that about this show. Also, this moment sets Fringilla on the path towards the dark arts. She thinks if she mimics him, she can then do magic. A phenomenal detail. She only goes up to Yennefer to give her special advice. This moment, only in hindsight, shows she actually cares for Yennefer. I again don't know why she ported to Istredd of all places, if it was not willed by Tissaia so Yennefer could evolve as a person. I just don't get it. Looking at the horrors around, she still feels entitled to rush to the front of the food line. She was raised in a palace. She's royalty. She's a princess. That's a great detail. For us to feel the weight of a death, making them important to us is key. Making the cloak for Ciri, wishing to be a knight for home and family, they did good here. Ciri keeping quiet about who she is and discovering the consequences of Queen Calenthe's, her grandmother's, actions. I was yelling at the screen and being upset about this situation, but it really is good for story. Insult comics at their finest. This is the first time we get to see Geralt not kill a non-human. There's no need for killing as he sees value in life, despite his profession. The backfire of Yennefer trying to fit in. Yennefer being at her lowest bonds with Prince Charming. Testing your magic by catching lightning in a bottle. Good luck, ladies. Yennefer's failure leads to her showing Tissaia that she is most promising with her magic. Again, only coming to Yennefer with helpful words. Tissaia does care for Yennefer. It feels like a wonderful improv scene where everyone is rolling with it. It seems natural. The elves' backstory is dark and burdensome. The king and his people chose not this life. Geralt giving some helpful advice. The Goatman's statement to the king before his verdict was made had the wrong mood because the music was too loud. The music was already at its climax and it seemed like a rushed last-minute plea to the king. They even turned down the music when Geralt talks. Exposition of her being deformed, being part elf, and showing her innate ability to use magic. The kiss was wonderfully placed, well-deserved, and a sincere happiness that she's shown for us for the first time. I'm still confused as to whether Tissaia intentionally had Yennefer teleport to Istrid. Did she not know that Yennefer and Istrid were mingling and allowed it to continue to further her power? Istrid reluctantly helps Stregobor, getting leverage on Tissaia, betraying Yennefer. I hated this scene. I hate it with a passion. He's justified in killing his oppressor. Yes, I understand. But the amount of stabbing she took was ridiculous. Have her be stabbed 3 times in the back, then him grab some treasure, run out of the tent, and then get killed by the ambush. It just seems ridiculous to have her being stabbed so many times. This boy's death hits home because he had dreams and hopes that were squashed permanently. Yennefer having the knock on her door, miss her, leads her to curiosity. Another moment alone with Yennefer. Tissaia truly does care for her. Seldom do we get a music overlay while someone in the show is singing, something that Hunger Games did nicely. I have to give them 2 wins for that. Introducing an elf while Jaskier the Bard starts playing Toss a Coin to Your Witcher. He was mute the entire episode. After being exposed as an elf, now he has nothing to hide. It felt cheap. Him being mute was one of the most unique things about the character. Have him not talk for the entire season. Play it out. You're in no rush. Let him be a mute because of the horrors that Ciri's grandmother did to his people. Let Ciri discover this while they both walk through a desecrated elven village. Let's give it up to Joey Bately's voice. This shot deserves a win. Yennefer and Tissaia sharing a moment. This was my favorite episode of the series by far. Yennefer has so much crap handed to her and she doesn't become a legend overnight, which is a major criticism I have for the next episode. The contrast we get to see between Jaskier and Geralt is one who tells tales and the other, truth. It's a great dynamic this contrasting duo have this entire season. Joey Bately, the actor of the Bard, is a humbled person about his role in The Witcher.
Tell me, how are you feeling before the premiere?
I am feeling weirdly much calmer than I was. So recently we were at the London premiere. It was a really, really fun experience, but my anxiety levels were very, very high. I got off the plane to come to Poland and my shoulders just went down. It was honestly like coming home. I'm not worried at all about the response of the show here. I know that the Polish people live and breathe these books and the games. I just am excited to see what they think and meet the people who loved Jaskier before I even knew about him.
Everything about Yennefer's story in this episode, I would keep. I just think that they rushed things. If they let the story play out and take a few episodes to have characters interact with each other, you could squeeze this entire season into maybe 3 to 5 seasons. Despite my criticisms for the show, which there may be a long list, I'm still looking forward to what comes next. See you next time.
Did your mother a snowman?